The following program is intended for mature audiences.
A democratic republic of sports. The Sportsocracy with ESPN Asheville hosts Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene.
2021 football season is right around the corner, and the team at the top of the NFC West, I think you're kind of crazy if you choose anybody but the Los Angeles Rams. To me, the Rams are the one team. They went out and made the move to get Matt Stafford in, and this is Matt Stafford's chance to prove that he can be a winner in this league. It's the one thing that has always hampered his entire career. I mean, I've followed the guy since he played for my Georgia Bulldogs, and the one thing he gets knocked on is that, he's a good quarterback, but he's just not a winner. Well, he's been in Detroit for his entire career. There's not a whole lot of winning going on in Detroit unless you haven't noticed. Now he gets to be on a team that's got one of the best defenses in the NFL. He's got some decent weapons to work with. And this team's got a lot of young pieces as well that I really like. So, best case scenario for the LA Rams, they're the hosts with the most. The Super Bowl this year is going to be in LA, in their home stadium. Tampa Bay Buccaneers did it last year, hosting the Super Bowl and winning it. Everybody's got that expectation for the LA Rams this year.
I don't see how anybody could look at the Rams and not be excited about what this team is. I mean, what is your slight? If you don't like them, what is it? The line? Because the line's not great,
but it's decent.
It's fine. I mean, it's nothing to write home about, but I still feel pretty good about it.
I mean, the fact that you are starting a damn near octogenarian on your offensive line is kind of weird.
I thought those lived in the ocean.
No, that's an octopus.
Oh.
Octogenarian is like 80 years old.
Oh.
Yeah. And Andrew Whitworth turns 40 this year, I think.
He's 39, yeah.
To me, that's the only real knock you have. I mean, there is one move that I would make to improve this team, and we'll get into that in a second, and it is on the offensive line. So maybe that's the bugaboo for a lot of people with this team. And then there's also the defense. You know, they lost a couple of pieces last year. So if you're hinging on John Johnson and Troy Hill being gone, that's the reason that you're down on this team. I mean, I get it. John Johnson's he's a man. I love that guy, and that's one of the reasons I'm so high on Cleveland this year.
But I'm not that worried about it.
I'm not either.
I look at the safeties on this team, and I'm fine with it. Mm-hmm. I just think you've got Darius Williams, you've got Jalen Ramsey. Mm-hmm. I don't worry about the safeties that much, and I like Taylor Rapp a lot. I like the defense. Sebastian Joseph Day might be the most underrated player in the NFL. If he's not, he's in the top 5.
Right.
I just really think this team's going to be able to get after the quarterback. I think this team is really good and really balanced, and they're going to score 1 billion points. Mm-hmm. I mean, you got to understand, Tutu Atwell's probably their 5. That's a guy I loved coming into the draft.
Yep.
And still love.
Behind Van Jefferson.
By the way, the guy, Jacob Harris. I swear to God, I'm gonna have T-shirts made of Jacob Harris's face with a heart, and me and him holding hands because we're best friends.
Right.
That is the dude that I am going to just keep banging the drum for because he's Darren Waller too.
So you think he'll supplant Tyler Higbee?
I think I think he'll run in the Gerald Everett role this year.
Okay.
But I think long term he's going to be. I'll be honest with you. If you tell me halfway through the season he became the starting tight end of the LA Rams, I wouldn't be shocked.
Okay.
He's that good.
Yeah.
He ran as a wide receiver at Central Florida, but he's very much that move tight end, that Darren Waller just matchup nightmare. He's 6'5", he's really fast. And I just look at that kind of piece with Sean McVay. Yeah. What do you think is going to happen?
Yeah. I think a lot of their success will hinge this year on Cam Akers having a fantastic sophomore season, which I fully expect to happen. I know you're in the Cam Akers camp being a Florida State fan, Jeremy, but I mean this kid, he's got some real talent. And he kind of came on the scene late in the year last year, finally started working his way and more into the lineup. They kind of, finally decided, yeah, let's stop it with this whole Darrell Henderson thing, and focused on Cam running the ball.
Darrell Henderson still has a role, though. And I like Darrell Henderson. I just don't like him as the feature back. I love Cam Akers. If there was one player that I'd screamed from the rooftops more about last year than Chase Claypool,
it was Cam Akers.
It was Cam Akers.
Right.
By the way, the 2020 draft is serving to be one of those that I just look back on and go, why do you even doubt a motherfucker? Why do you even doubt a motherfucker?
All except for that Justin Jefferson thing. That's the
and
one
yet
thing.
again, I have to keep saying, I didn't say that he sucked at life.
No.
I said that there were some receivers that I liked better. Chase Claypool and Michael Pittman specifically. I still say he was a second-round pick.
Right.
I didn't say he shouldn't be in the league.
Right.
I didn't quite realize he was going to be as good as he was.
It was a fluctuating year for you, because Antonio Gibson was the other one. Those were your two big downfalls last year.
Yeah, and a lot of people
calling your
missed
shot.
on Antonio Gibson. And let's be really, can we be really honest about Antonio Gibson?
Yeah.
I think we might be a little too high on Antonio Gibson at this point.
Could very well be.
He was good.
He's one of the most versatile backs in the league, in my opinion.
And he also had 800 yards last year. So, I mean, you guys just calm down. He had several really big games. I really like the guy. I'm not trying to undersell him.
Right.
I'm just saying, what I said was I didn't put him in my shade on Antonio Gibson was talking about for fantasy, and you were putting him with the Cam Akers and all these other young guys, and I just said I don't think he's that high.
Right.
I don't think he's that high this year either because he's going in the same range again.
Right. But let's get back to the LA Rams here. Cam Akers having a great sophomore season is going to be a big help to them having a great year. Are you concerned at all about Matthew Stafford in a new system, not having rapport with these wide receivers? I mean, he's got two of the best.
He's a 33-year-old veteran
security
quarterback
blanket
that's basically worked with the shittiest set of receivers that you'll ever have. He made Marvin Jones look like a legitimate NFL receiver.
Right.
I know there's a Lions fan that watches the show, and I just am curious to see what their comment to that is. I'm all in on Matthew Stafford. Now, I'm not worried about the synergy with the receivers.
Okay.
There is something I am worried about, though. It's the worst case scenario for the Rams, and it's everybody hurts sometimes. This team's not real deep, and that's what scares me. If they had even just a small rash of injuries, just look at the second team. Go down the depth chart and look at the backup quarterback is John Wolford. Behind Darrell Henderson, it gets thin in a hurry at running back. Receiver's the one place you're deep. And it does make me a little nervous. But this is what happens when you trade first-round picks and you have to stay healthy. Yep. That's the one thing that can fuck the Rams.
And also when you have so many superstars on your defensive side of the ball that you have to pour so much money into them. I mean, I think, I don't know the stat on it, but I would imagine that they pay probably the most for their defense than anybody else in the league.
I mean, they have two of the five highest paid defensive players in the NFL, or two of the 8, or something like that. The team's not real deep. That's the one thing that can hang them up. If this team stays healthy throughout the year, they're going to win 13 games. I can't tell you they're going to win the division. I think they will, but I'm not, dead in the wool on it. Here's the thing. Jonathan Welch said this in the comments earlier. This is the only division in the NFL that you have 4 playoff contenders in one division. Every other division has a poo. All of them. This one doesn't.
Right.
The turd in this division is the Seattle Seahawks, and that's still an 8 or 9 win team.
Right. And very well could be a double-digit win team because that's what they've been over the last 5
And I'll
years.
give Chuck G has a perfect comment here. Just remember, this is the first year of a 17-game schedule. I won't be shocked if that is kind of an Achilles heel. Extra game, this division's going to be competitive. I don't think anybody's walking away with this division. Hey, let me ask you a question. If you had to project how many games would be separating the first place team in this division and the last place team in this division at the end of the year, how many is it?
1. Oh, the last place division. I'm sorry.
I was about to be like, God almighty, what do you think? They all go 11-6?
I'm sorry. I misheard. Between the last place, 3 or 4 wins, maybe.
4. I have the Rams winning the division at 13-4. Mm-hmm. I have the Seahawks at 9-8, and they're last in the division. Mm-hmm. And the 49ers, and I want to say the 49ers and the Cardinals tied at 12-5.
Right.
It's the best division in football. It's not close.
Yeah.
That could be your biggest downfall, is that you play in a division where you don't get a layup week. Mm-hmm. You don't get a Jets. You don't get a Jaguars or a Titans or a Texans or a Bengals or a Broncos, Eagles. Yeah, you don't have one of those. There's not one of those in the division.
Yeah.
So you look at the schedule and just go, good Jesus, it is a murderer's row going down the schedule. Mm-hmm. That's one thing that I think people should be very cautious of. This may be the best. This is the best division in football. They don't have the best record in football.
No. I believe that their chances to win a Super Bowl are greater than their chances to win the division. And that may sound stupid.
It does. Yeah, it sounds insane.
No. Because of the schedule, because of the tougher schedule, I could very well see San Francisco winning the division with a better record.
Oh, I'm going to go out on a limb.
But I think the LA Rams are the better overall team.
Oh, I'll go out on a limb. If the Rams don't win this division, they're not winning the Super Bowl. There is no team in the NFL that needs to be the 1 seed in their conference more than the LA Rams do.
Because of the depth issue?
Because of the bye.
Oh, okay.
Because of the bye, because of that week 17. The one thing, if you're a Rams fan, that you don't want to have happen, you don't want to go into that week 18 game with San Francisco having to play everybody. Mm-hmm. Sean McVay's made it very clear. He's resting guys all the way in. Mm-hmm. You tell me I can get a 2-week layoff for the Rams going into the playoffs, and they're still the one, they're the Super Bowl favorite. More than your Buccaneers, mm-hmm. more than the Packers, mm-hmm. more than any of them. Because this is a team whose their all 22 depth chart is better than any team in the NFL. And I don't even think it's debatable.
Okay.
But they need that. They need to be the one.
The one thing you would do to make this team better, mine is on the offensive line, and it's a guy who's sitting out there that I can't believe hasn't been signed yet, and it's Austin Reeder. Austin Reeder was the star or one of the stars of the offensive line for the Kansas City Chiefs last year. He didn't give up a single sack all year long. And I think he only gave up like 2 pressures, something crazy like that. That's the one hole for me on the LA Rams offensive line. They don't have superstars all over the offensive line, but they've got solid guys at every position except for center. Mm-hmm. So to me, Austin Reeder would be the one move that I could still make that would make me feel better about this team.
Mitchell Schwartz is the one that I would make, but that's just me.
Okay.
The thing about the Rams is they have a lot of interchangeable pieces mm-hmm. on their line. Because there's not, would I love Rob Havenstein sliding into guard? Not really. But I would like having that swing tackle. Mm-hmm. And you talk about it. I don't mind Brian Allen. I don't mind Austin Corbett at all. I think they're talented players. They're just players people don't really know. Mm-hmm. So, if I was adding a piece, it would be to the offensive line, certainly.
Brian Allen was he is the lowest graded of all of their mm-hmm. offensive linemen.
He's also a young guy.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm just saying, at least at this point, even if you believe Brian Allen is the next center for this team, go get Austin Reeder, because the fact that nobody signed him, you can get him on a relatively good deal. And that would at least add depth to your team, which we've already talked about as a problem for them.